Nogamadud, my friends, my relatives. My name is Donna Augustine, and I'm going to introduce myself to you with my spirit name in my language, which is Megama. My spirit name is Thunderbird, Turtle Woman, and I'm a mother of 7, grandmother of 23, and I've been conducting ceremonies for my people and for other people from different parts all across the United States and Canada, South America, Europe, and this is for the ones who don't know me. So I've been practicing ceremonies since I was conducting ceremonies since I was about 22 years old, almost 23, and now I'm 68 years old. Today I'm, first of all, this is not for me. I have tobacco in my hand. I just lit a smudge, which is part of our medicines. I have tobacco in my hand the way my dad taught me, my late father, Sam Baldeagle Augustine. Today I prayed because I have something important message to share with all of you, with everyone out there. Like I said, this is not about me. This is not about politics or anything. This is from a Megama grandmother, a ceremonial elder, and from my heart. Here in Mi'kmaq territory, not too far from here. I just got back 2 days ago, near Digby, Nova Scotia. As you know, there's an assault on our fishermen and fisherwomen there. They are trying to practice a moderate livelihood. But lately, it has become more, to me, it has become more than just practicing a moderate livelihood. It's become violent there. They're being bullied, and so I have to speak. We have to use our voice. We don't need to stand up in violence. Our strength is here when we speak. Our strength is the spirits of our ancestors guiding us. I carry many spirit names. My spirit name again is Thunderbird, Turtle Woman. That turtle, that Mikchich, I carry the name. He allowed me to carry that name of an ancient ancestor that lived almost 3,000 years ago. And that spirit is always with me. I have other spirit names. I have a spirit name that was given to me by a Mi'kmaq spiritual person, a blind man, came to him through ceremony. My second spirit name. My third spirit name was given to me by a Lakota medicine person. My fourth spirit name came to me directly from the spirits. My fifth spirit name came to me, was given to me by a medicine man in Tahiti. He said the spirits from the ground came and spoke to him at sunrise to give me that name. The last spirit name came to me from Europe, a spiritual man there of European descent, a ceremony, like he practices ceremonies. And so the spirits told him that this is also my spirit name. I have many spirit names, and I shared this. I'm going to say it silently. I need all my spirit guides with me as I share this. This is not for me. This is for my people. This is for all the people of Turtle Island, all the indigenous people. Because what happens here in the East, we're the people of the dawn. What happens here affects all the First Nations, all the indigenous people of this land. Because since contact, it hasn't been taught in schools, in high schools, universities. Many people have not learned the true history of our people. But as we all know, there's been layers upon layers of injustice imposed upon our people. One example, residential school. When the non-native government pushed their Indian agents to come and literally rip the children from their mother's arms and take them away to a place where they were abused in so many ways. It was a place for pedophiles. It was horrible. And our people could not speak. They were backed up at the time the Indian agent came in, backed up by the RCMP from the non-native government, backed up by the non-native police force. And so many injustices. When I was growing up, a lot of our people were ridiculed, they were called names, and it never stops. There are so many things, and now I feel the need to speak. I'm not doing this in violence, I'm doing this with the truth. I, Thunderbird Turtle Woman, Gaktugo Sisib Mikchich Ebit, am calling upon your spiritual leaders, the non-native spiritual leaders, the ones that maybe the non-Indigenous fishermen will listen to. Are they going to listen to the priest? Is that your spiritual leaders? The bishops? Or whoever their spiritual leaders are. I am also calling on your political government, your prime minister, your ministers of each province. We, our United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, when Canada formally adopted that declaration, May of 2016. I was there, right here, it's written. And there's so many things that are written here. But Article 20 of the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People that was formally adopted by your government, I was there. Carol Bennett, Minister Carol Bennett was there. Our National Chief, Perry Vilgard, was there. Article 20 says, Indigenous peoples have the right to maintain and develop their political, economic, and social systems or institutions, to be secure in the enjoyment of their own means of subsistence and development, and to engage freely in all of their traditional and other economic activities. To engage freely in all their traditional and other economic activities. As you know, here in the East, we are the people of the dawn. Many of our ceremonies were banned after first contact. When we shared this land, I am speaking now to the non-Indigenous fishermen. When your ancestors landed here from other parts, other countries, it was our ancestors that were standing at the shorelines. Many did not make that long journey. The ones that did were dying, were very ill. Our ancestors helped them. They offered medicine. They offered them food. They offered them, they showed them how to live in this new land, how to survive the harsh winters. Later, they could not defeat our people because they tried to take more and more and more. And they tried to defeat us, tried to take more and more. They realized they could not, because even though there was not that many Indigenous people, they were wiped out by diseases such as smallpox, infested blankets, and other diseases that they had no immunity to. Even though there are a few of our ancestors, and many of yours, as it is now, as it is the case now, they could not defeat our people. They could not defeat the Mi'kmaq and maybe the Wolastoqey people. So they asked us to form treaties. They came to us, our ancestors, and asked to form a treaty. Here in the East, we formed peace and friendship treaties, where we agreed to live side by side in peace and friendship. We never surrendered or ceded any land. We offered to share the land because the Creator placed us here. So we've never surrendered this land. It was gifted to us by the Creator. We are caretakers of this land. We are the original custodians. We are the original stewards of this land. When our treaty rights were gifted back to us, many non-Indigenous people, non-Native people, thought, oh, the Native people are going to kill all the moose because they can hunt any day of the year. They're going to kill all the moose and deer. They didn't. Our hunters know. They don't hunt in the spring. They don't hunt in the summer when those moose and deer are carrying young. They don't kill the female. They know because it's within us that we never take more than what we need, and to always give back and to share. We're told that we always have to share our food, which still today that we do. And so we've always done the right thing. And now, look at it. All those humongous, I've been there. I've been to Digby twice. I saw it that day when it looked like a city, early, like of lights coming from those huge boats, commercial fishing boats, coming to attack the few tiny little boats. How many lobster traps do they put out there? 250, 300 at the most? And that's what they were trying to stop as our people fished to make a moderate livelihood. Take a look at the boats. They're like minuscule compared to the humongous boats. Imagine how many millions of dollars it costs for the big boats. And we have the little ones. You know, our fishermen trying to make a living for their little families. And so we're outnumbered. But I want to tell you, you know, when you look back, when you look at what happened, you know, they're burning those lobster in those lobster pounds, whatever, those buildings. They poured paint thinner over those lobster. They dumped them into the ocean. You know, what? I can't understand that. You know, where does that come from? They torched the vans. They're cutting our traps. They're cutting our lines, all out of jealousy. They say conservation. If it was conservation, well, take a look at all across Canada. How many percent do the native people fish compared to all non-native fishermen? I think it's 1% or less than 1% overall. You cannot use conservation. That is not correct. The real truth is that it comes from jealousy and greed. And I want to tell you, we are outnumbered, yes, physically. But I want to share with you right now, as Thunderbird Turtle Woman, I want to tell you that our people on this land are still spiritually protected by the Creator. And so, it might not be physical, but I want to tell you that on this land, North America, what we call Turtle Island, are the ashes everywhere we walk of millions of our ancestors. Millions. You might have a few ancestors here that came with you, but there's millions of our ancestors, and they see every single thing that you do. They know what you are doing. And we don't know what could happen to you spiritually. I want to tell you that. We don't know, but you don't push our people too far. Because if you do, there could be major spiritual repercussions. You know, we don't know. Do you love your families? We don't know. I want to tell you, I've seen it again and again. Don't impose an injustice on our people. I'm a mother of 7, and I've never went to speak up on behalf of my children unless there was a just injustice imposed on them. And I would tell the teachers or whoever, as a mother, I have a right to speak up on behalf of my child until they're able to speak up for themselves. So today, we are outnumbered by your millions of dollars. We are outnumbered by your massive boats. You know, we are outnumbered. You have the police force behind you. You have the governments behind you. We have our integrity. When we signed those treaties, when we shook the hands of the people we're doing a treaty with, our ancestors took that seriously because it was done in ceremony. We were making a commitment, not only to your ancestors, but they were making a commitment to the Creator. And we take that seriously. And so, you cannot call it conservation. Your children are watching. Originally, I was asked to do a video for the schools. I could not even do it. Today, when I saw some of the things that are happening, I was just there a couple of days ago. I talked to some of the fishermen. And I had to do this video because it's a huge injustice. And I will tell you, you can tell your children, maybe when you take them to church, oh, be good, be kind, and all those things. But they're watching your actions. If I tell my children, don't smoke, and I'm smoking away, they're watching me. So this video is going to be seen by high school students. It's going to be seen by young people, because for all those years, the young people have not been told the truth about what really happened to our people on this land where the Creator placed us. It hasn't been taught in schools. It's been hidden. Many people are just now beginning to find out about the residential schools. Well, we are here to tell you, and we are here to speak the truth and tell you there's been layers and layers and layers and layers. And we've been outnumbered many times, but we're still here. This is the land where the Creator placed us. This is the land where the Creator put our feet. And if we don't speak up in this generation, what's going to happen to the next generations? Are they going to feel, our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren going to feel we can't speak up? We can never speak up. And I'm also holding our elected officials accountable. One said, well, he said, what do they do with the catch? They're fishing, it's our rights, but maybe they're not sharing it with everybody. I want to tell you, it has nothing to do with money. There are no conditions on our treaties. We have the right to fish, and they have the right to make a moderate livelihood. It is not up to anyone to impose that on them. And I want to tell you what happens when the money fails. Prophecy is happening right now as we speak. COVID-19 is happening all over the world. This was prophesied to happen. Guess what? The indigenous people of this land are still spiritually protected. And the ones that are attacking our people right now, your descendants, your children, your grandchildren, I can guarantee you, they're going to come to our descendants and ask them for help, because our people are spiritually guided. We're still following the ways that the Creator gave us. Just today, my brother brought me moose meat. Early this morning, I received a call from my nephew in Nova Scotia who fishes there. He called me. He has a non-native friend who deals with the bait or whatever. And he told me his 10-month-old son is going for a very serious operation on his brain. I dropped everything. I lit my sweetgrass. I offered my tobacco. I went outside and prayed, because that's what we do. We pray for anyone that needs help. We don't reject anyone. And so, we are asking for justice. We are asking for understanding. All your leaders, I'm not afraid. No one has to defend me. No one at all, on Facebook or anything. No one needs to defend me. I am willing to stand in front of your leaders. I am willing to stand in front of your Pope if I have to, in front of the Prime Minister, anybody. I've spoken at the United Nations. I work on international repatriation. I serve on the Indigenous Advisory Council of the Human Rights Museum, Winnipeg. I do a lot of national work. I work under a law, NAGPRA law, Native American Graves Protection Repatriation Act law. I know my rights. I know who I am as a Mi'kmaq woman. And I stand proud not to be better than anyone. And I want to share with you, non-Indigenous fishermen, and all you non-Indigenous people out there that are trying to bully our people. I want to share with you a quote, the late Charlie Labrador. He was from Kajimakujik National Park, Wildcat Reserve, next to Kajimakujik. He said, 500 years ago, our ancestors were standing at the shorelines with our hands extended in friendship. Here we are, he says, 500 years later, we are still standing here with our hands extended in friendship. So, to all of you non-Indigenous fishermen out there that are attacking our people, all of the townspeople that have come together as a mob. I drove by the first time I went to Digby. I drove by towards the wharf. There were houses near the shore. There were cars parked there, people standing outside, looking towards the big boats that were coming, as if they were standing there waiting for the slaughter. It reminded me of, in the Roman days, it was shows on TV and the movies where they threw the people into the lion's den, waiting for the slaughter. That's what I noticed. That's what I saw. And I said to myself, our people are not going to be slaughtered because the Creator watches over us. The Creator placed us here. He didn't place us in China. He didn't place us in Europe. He didn't place us in Africa. He placed us here. And by the way, I want to tell you that this video I want it to go everywhere. I've contacted people this morning already. The Hopi people know. The Lakota people know. I have friends all throughout the United States, throughout Canada. I've done ceremonies with all of your spiritual leaders from all different parts of the world. With the Sami, who still follow the original ways of the non-natives, the white race. I've done ceremonies with the black spiritual leaders. I've done ceremonies with the yellow race. I've done ceremonies with Dalai Lama. I've done ceremonies with spiritual leaders all over the world. And so today, I speak because this is an injustice. We don't know what's going to happen. What if a war comes? We knew that something was coming. We didn't know what it was. And we knew through prophecy, this elder said, something is coming that is going to be like the wind. It's going to hit as quick as the wind. We're not going to see it. And it's going to be very destructive. It's here now, COVID-19. What else is going to happen? What if there's a huge war? All of you non-Indigenous fishermen that are attacking our fishermen and fisherwomen and innocent women on the wharf. In our culture, we respect the women. We don't knock smudge bowls out of their hands. That's sacred to us, like a chalice. We don't make fun of them by banging on jerry cans to make fun of their drumming. That's sacred to us. I will tell you, the spirits of this land are watching. And so, I am offering you what our ancestors offered many years ago. And that is, I'm extending my hand in friendship when we made the peace and friendship treaties. Because what happens if a war comes? Our descendants, my children, my grandchildren, maybe my great-grandchildren, will be standing beside your grandchildren, grandchildren, great-grandchildren to defend this country. They've done it before. And when they did that, they came back and they lost their rights. They stripped them of their rights because they joined the army, because they joined the Marines. There's so many injustices done to our people. And we're still standing here in peace and friendship. Yes, I am upset. I'm hurt. Underneath being upset is hurt. I'm so hurt. Imagine those children at residential school that were taken. They were innocent little children taken by your ancestors. Taken to these places where they were tortured, molested. All kinds of things happened to them. Some of them died. They killed them and they buried them in the backyards on the ground of those residential schools. This is your ancestors. Our ancestors would have never done things like that. To this day, we would not do things like that because we are taught by it. We are still following the original instructions from the Creator. All races of man were given original instructions from the Creator. So when we go back to our traditional ways, when we go back to our ceremonies that were stripped away from us, there was a bounty on our heads at one point, especially here in the East, first contact. If our ancestors were caught with a drum, if our ancestors were caught with medicines, now they're back. And when we go back to our ceremonies, we are going back to the morals and the values that our ancestors carried. Those values of honesty, true honesty, caring.